Recording button. Double tap to activate.
Hello, my crafty and creative people, my yarn lovers. I am recording this video for WIP Wednesday. You know what that means. Get your projects. Come on in. Get your beverage. What's your beverage? I'm drinking hot chamomile tea. You know, here in the United States, Memorial Day weekend is already coming up. And you know what? Usually it's warm here in Washington State. Not this year. We didn't even get to 55 degrees today. It is chilly. It is cold. It feels like April. So I'm still drinking chamomile tea tonight. So get your beverage, get your project, whatever it is that we do, and come on in and have a chat with me and let's discuss what you're working on. So say hello in the comment section if you'd like. Let me know where you're watching from, like what country. You know, I'm from Scotland and I'm knitting a baby blanket. You know, do you knit? Do you crochet? Do you do embroidery? Maybe you're folding your laundry, cleaning your kitchen. You know, I listen to my favorite YouTube people when I do all kinds of things. Sometimes it's when I'm knitting and crocheting. Sometimes it's when I'm cooking lunch or eating lunch. Sometimes it's when I'm cleaning up the kitchen after lunch. I got my people on all the time. We hang out together. It's fun to find your favorite people on YouTube. You feel like you get to know them after a while. And you're just like friends hanging out together. It's pretty cool. So hopefully I can become that for you, right? A familiar voice, a familiar face if you're sighted, a place to hang out, a place to be creative together. So, if you are a returning viewer, thanks so much for choosing to come back and hang out with me and spend a little bit of your day with me. And thank you for your patience while I briefly introduce myself to anybody who might be new. My name is May. I love yarn. I love to knit and crochet. And yes, I am visually impaired. I was born this way. I am completely color blind. I just want to make sure, so anybody who's new who might be confused or be like, what's she talking about? Why is she saying this stuff? So anyways, I also want to thank my new subscribers. I have a few new subscribers. I noticed that recently. And so thank you for choosing to subscribe to my channel. And if you just stumbled by this video accidentally, if you enjoy my content, would you consider subscribing to my channel? Did you know that subscribing to a YouTube channel is free? It won't cost you a thing. And then you won't miss any of the content on my channel. So today, I'm knitting a little baby booty. I got 2 circular knitting needles going on here. They're number 4 needles. And I'd really like to tell you the color of it. But guess what? I don't know for sure the color of it. And I know it's like a darkish red. Here's the skein. Okay, so let me tell you the story of this yarn. Here it is, if you can see. I was doing a video last week for a Mother's Day sale at my favorite local yarn sale in Washington State called Paradise Fibers. They were doing a 15% off sale. Now the sale is over, but of course, you can still watch the video and learn about my favorite local yarn store and shop there. But I was going through Yarn Mountain, that's what I call my stash, doing some excavating, trying to find some of my yarns, my purchases from that store. And I came across this partially used skein, this little remnant here. And I was thinking to myself, why is that a partially used skein, right? Where did that come from? What in the world did I make with that? It is the Cascade Yarns Cherub Aran, A-R-A-N. So we know that's the heavy worsted. And it is a nylon and acrylic blend. So it is great. If you got wool allergies, it's a great option. Also, if you're looking for a yarn for baby projects, this is a great option because it's machine washable. And you don't have to worry if maybe that baby is allergic to wool. Plus, it's super, super, super soft. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this Cherub Yarns by Cascade, the DK, the Aran, I think they are probably the softest acrylic blend I've ever felt. I'm just being honest with you. And I've felt a lot of acrylic yarns, okay? And there are nice ones. Absolutely. There's nice acrylic yarns. The blanket behind me, the Glenda's Creative Grandma's Victorian Star. I made that with the Knit Picks We Crochet Brava Bulky. And that's a nice acrylic. It is. It's a budget acrylic. It's a nice acrylic. It's soft. But this is an acrylic blend, and I think it's the softest acrylic blend I've ever felt. So if you're looking for baby yarns, yarns for baby blankets, baby projects, whatever, I would definitely consider the Cascade Cherub yarns. And so, Paradise Fibers does carry them. So I was going through my stuff, and I found this partial skein, and I was like, what in the world is this? What did I use that with? And I couldn't even figure out the color, because, you know, the whole colorblind thing. So I was really puzzled for a while. I was like, what is that from? What did I use that on? You know, is a used skein. So I couldn't figure out what I'd done with it. And it took me quite a while. I could tell it's not black. I can tell it is not black, but it's definitely a dark. I can't tell if it's red or purple or hot pink or magenta or eggplant or maybe even like a brown or a maroon. I can't see any of that. All of that mahogany. I don't know. So I used the Google Gemini. You know, I got super mixed feelings about the AI. I'm not gonna lie, but as somebody who's visually impaired and somebody who's colorblind, let me tell you, I do like that I can use that camera to look at things and identify stuff, and I'm using it for color on the screen as well as pictures, and it's definitely better than any of the color identifying apps that I have tried so far. And I've tried 3, okay? I've tried 3 different apps to identify colors for me, and they're all terrible. I'm just saying. So the Google Gemini says this is like a red, pink, magenta. And I did check the Cascade website. This is color 46. I think it's a discontinued color because I couldn't find it. I don't think it's the ruby, but it could be. But I don't think that it is. But it's color 46. Now, I love Cascade yarns. I do. But color 46 is not super helpful to me. I'm just saying. So what I did find, I did some thinking, I did some excavating, I did some digging around, and I think I found the project that I made with this yarn. Here it is. What do you think? Anybody out there who's got eyes that work, that can see colors? The cells in my eyes that see colors are not attached to my brain at all. They're there, but they're not wired to the brain. So my eyes cannot distinguish this. What do people think? Do you think that these are a match? Do you think that this project, this shawl, matches this yarn? Is this where this came from? Is this what I used it on? I'd love to hear from somebody, because I'm not 100% sure. Also, though, right, once I got the mystery of the yarn, I had the mystery yarn, right? Like, what did I use this yarn on? That was mystery number 1. And once I got mystery number 1 cleared up, right? What did I use this yarn for, and what color is it? Mystery number 2. So fun to be visually impaired. It is sometimes, actually. But most of the time, it's, you know, whatever. It's just life, right? But then I'm trying to figure what this shawl pattern is. Does anybody recognize this shawl? It's like a little mini shawl shoulderette thing. And it's like a half circle or a crescent. It's got like 6 sections and then these little side sections. And I just don't know for sure. I've looked at some shawls. I've gone through my shawl patterns. I've looked on Ravelry. I'm not 100% sure. I found a few. I've definitely found a few that I'm looking at that I'm thinking, is that it? Is that it? But I just can't see, right? I'm looking at the pictures and I can't see much anymore. And so I'm not 100% sure that I've found this particular shawl. I just don't know. And I think it's a discontinued, like, that's the frustrating thing. I mean, really, you know how many times, right, we see a pattern and they're like, oh, I'm going to go back and make that. And then we don't print it out. And then the pattern's no longer there. It's so weird because we talk about how things are forever on the internet, right? And then guess what? Things are not forever on the internet when it comes to patterns, okay? I can't tell you how many yarn companies have gone out of business, which is, of course, sad. But then they also don't have plans for their patterns, where to get them, pattern support, anything like that. And it's so frustrating because then I realized I wanted to make that. I really wanted to make that. I was going to get the pattern eventually or just use it electronically. And now I can't make it. So I think that this could possibly be a discontinued pattern. I've narrowed it down to a few. I'm just not sure. But it is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I'd like to try to make it again, possibly. Or maybe, you know, I don't know. I definitely have some thoughts. I'm getting all kinds of inspo with it. It's beautiful. And it's got like little diamonds and little like arrows and like these little, I don't know if they're flowers or houses or what, little points on it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful shawl pattern. So, but how many of you have had that frustration where you're like, oh, I'll get that pattern, I'll do that later on in the future, and then it's just not there anymore because the yarn company's gone out of business or something? That has happened. We've seen so many yarn companies go under. It's sad. And I'm sad. I'm not just being selfish like I miss my patterns. Obviously, right? I'm sad for the employees. I'm sad for the people who put their time and their money into their business, you know, and lost their business. That's really sad. You know, I mean, I think most of us as yarn enthusiasts, right? We're like, ooh, it'd be so fun to have a yarn store. I could hang out with all that yarn all day and talk yarn all day and tell everybody who comes into my yarn store what the best yarns are. Fun, 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 right? So, you know, those are people's dreams that they put a lot of money into and a lot of time into. And we've seen those companies go out of business. So that's sad. I know some of my favorites were Elan. I think it's E-L-A-N. It might have had two N's on the end. I can't remember. But I used to love buying their yarns. And they had a skirt on their page that I was like, oh, I'm going to make that when I get better at knitting. Did I print it out? No, I didn't, because, you know, and it was a free pattern too. And I was like, no, I'll get that some other time. I don't need to print it out now because, you know, paper's expensive, ink's expensive. I can see the pictures. It's hard for me to read print. And I was like, I'll just, you know, I'll use the PDF when it's available. And I knew the company was going out of business. I did. It wasn't like they didn't tell us. It wasn't like they didn't have sales. I wish I could have bought more of their yarn when they're going under. I do. But, you know, at that time, I was unemployed or maybe just getting my job at the college. I don't remember. But at that time, I was not in a place where I could buy, you know, bins and bins of their yarn. Sadly, I wish I could have. But I do still have some of it. I do. But I do specifically remember that skirt and the pattern's just gone. And I always wonder, like, you know, when they were free patterns that were put out by, you know, on a yarn company's website, it's like, okay, does the pattern belong to the designer or does it belong to the yarn company, right? So could the designer still publish it and sell it on Ravelry? Or did they give up their rights to the yarn company? And so then when the yarn company doesn't exist anymore, do they just own it and it's forever gone because they're not providing pattern support anymore? Or, I mean, that's like such a conundrum. I don't even know all of the logistics of that situation. I got no idea. I'd love, love, love to know if anybody knows how that works, because there's several patterns out there that I remember looking at. Elan used to have the most beautiful shawls. Oh my God, lace shawls, because they used to have some beautiful silk yarns and alpaca yarns. And they had these gorgeous shawl patterns, and they were all written and charted out in lace, you know, and they were pages and pages and pages and pages, and so of course I didn't want to print them all out, you know, and now they're just gone. I was like, wonder what happened to those. So sad for the designers if they put all that work into those patterns. You know, did they just get like a flat fee from the companies? And, you know, do they have any rights at all? I don't know. So I'm not totally sure on this particular pattern. I did see a few. I may not be correct. It's just so hard for me to see pictures and graphics and charts anymore. I still can. I zoom into things all the time. I do. I zoom in, I look, but I'm looking at those pictures and I just can't tell for sure what I'm looking at anymore. But it's a beautiful shawl, and I'd love to you know, maybe work it again or something. I don't know. So that's on my mind. But anyway, so I found this little remnant of a skein, and I was like, stash buster, right? I need some stash busted stuff. So is it the best color for baby shoes? Why not? Why not? That's me. You know, I'm sure some people will be like, why would you make baby shoes in that color? I'm like, because, you know, some little girl might really love them. They're for like a baby. But I think that baby shoes, baby socks, baby booties are great stash busters. They just are. Like, you can make little baby socks with just a tiny bit of yarn. So if you're looking at your little scraps, right, and you're like, what am I going to do with that? Baby socks, baby booties. So that's what I'm doing. Right now, I think I'll definitely be able to get two. I'm probably still going to have some left. I probably should not have made the booties with this yarn because I probably had enough here to make a baby hat. And I can't lie to you. I'm working on this baby shoe right now, and I'm already thinking, like, maybe I should rip that out, right? That's going through my head. I'm like, maybe I should rip that out. Maybe I shouldn't finish that. Maybe I should make a hat instead, right? That's going through my head because this is all I got, and it's if I make two baby shoes, it probably won't be enough to make a hat. So I want to maximize the yarn, right? So that's, I'm not gonna lie, like these kinds of debates go on in my head all the time, especially when I'm stash busting, when I got like a skein or less. I got less than a skein left. So that so, you know, I want to finish these baby booties because I think they'll be adorable. They will. But I'm already looking at this going, I don't know. Maybe I should rip the whole thing out and make a baby hat. Yeah, that's going on. So, yeah. So another thing I wanted to talk about is that I was going through my YouTube videos, and as of right now, this is my 49th video. My 49th YouTube video. So my next one will be my 50th YouTube video, and we're coming up on me being on YouTube for 90 days. That's right, 90 days. That blows my mind. Okay, it just does. I'm like, how did that happen? I can't remember the exact date that I posted my first YouTube video. It was either February 22nd or February 23rd. It was right around that area. So I'll have to try to see if I can figure out exactly what date I posted my first video, which, by the way, is called Introduction, if you're interested in that. And it goes into great detail about my visual diagnosis, more than you'd ever want to know, okay? So we're looking at 90 days of me being on YouTube. That's a big deal. We're looking at 50 videos in 90 days. That also blows my mind. I'm like, how did I do that? Because I had no idea that I'd be able to put out 50 videos in 90 days. Now, here's the one thing. I'm thinking about taking one of them down. I am. I'm thinking about taking, like, I'm just learning how to do this. My YouTube channel is a WIP. Let me tell you, it's a work in progress. This is a learn as you go. Woo! Boy, is it ever. So I'm not, I got a lot to learn. I make my videos. And then I do listen to them before I even put them on YouTube, okay? Because I can't edit, if you don't know that yet. I do
Facebook,
use an
Kim Blair
editing
added a post.
app
Hi,
sometimes,
thanks for sharing Dogsters. How?
but I use a screen reader also. If you don't know how visually impaired people access the internet and access their phones have a screen reader in them that talks to them. And I don't turn mine all the way off when I record because I do like to hear some things. But I do try to turn it down low, but you will hear it in the background sometimes, even though my phone's on Do Not Disturb. I think it is. It might not be. I might have forgot, actually. That's a possibility, too. What was I talking about? I can't even remember. Oh, my YouTube channel. Yeah. So I might take one or two of my earlier videos down. But then I'm like, then I won't be at 50 videos. Does it still count 50 videos if I take it down? I don't know. I mean, I did make it. I did post it. I don't know. So, but I do listen to my videos because I can't edit frame by frame. Like, I can't edit visually. That's what I was talking about. My goodness. I get distracted. I can't lie. I'm sure you can tell. Right? When you're listening to my videos, when I talk about my projects and my creative process, and I'm like, I'm designing this, and then I want to design that, and I'm already designing 5 other projects in my head right now. I am. So that's kind of what's going on in my head. And so, and I don't have notes or anything. I do have ideas before I turn the record, before I touch that record button. I do have ideas and structures and where I want to go. I have like a destination in mind, but sometimes we do the recalculating route, right? As I talk about in some of my other videos, that happens during my videos. I'm like, oh boy, I'm way off the road now. So, I kind of come into these with a plan of what I want to talk about. And I did want to talk to you about this being my 49th video. I did. So, so I listen. I do listen because I don't have the visual skills to edit out frame by frame, even though I do have an app to do that. I can't do it visually. So when I make a video, it's just like, go. It's whatever happens, happens. And so I do listen back to them because I'm like, ooh, you better make sure before you put that on the internet. You better make sure something didn't happen, or your phone didn't say something, or you didn't say something that you don't want out there. So I listen to them again. And then if I do add in, sometimes I'll add in different pictures. Sometimes I'll splice different things together for different things I'm working on for the video. So I do all that stuff first. And then I upload it. And then I still do listen to it once on YouTube. Just so that I can, sort of evaluate myself, right? And because I'm always wanting to improve. I always want to make this better for you, my viewers and my listeners. I want to make it better for you. I want to make it a better experience for you. So I'm always trying to get better. So I do make myself listen to my videos one time once they're up there, so that I can say, okay, that needs improvement. That needs improvement. That's not so interesting. You talked about that too long, right? You said right too many times. Right? I'm sure some of you who listen are like, oh, she says right too many times. Yeah. So I make myself listen so that I can, I think that if you don't know, I worked as a psychologist for a while. And so, as a psychologist, something that we talk about is self-awareness. And so, let me tell you, a great way to become self-aware is to video yourself and then listen to yourself. Yeah, that builds self-awareness. You learn about all your little habits and the things that you say too much, and do you talk too fast, do you pause too long, do you use this word too much, do you say too much? Yeah. So let me tell you, you build self-awareness when you do this, when you listen to yourself. And you learn. And I do want to learn. I want to become better at making YouTube videos. I want to become a better content creator. I've lost track of how many rows I'm on, by the way. I can't remember if I'm on round 6 or round 7 right now. And if I do make these booties and I don't rip them out, I gotta make the second one match. Interesting. So I do have to keep track, and I do wish I remembered if I was on 6 or 7. And I am still thinking about ripping them out and saying, you have enough yarn to make a baby hat with that. Don't make booties. You can make booties with a smaller scrap of yarn. So that's still going on in my head as we talk. But I'm always trying to sort of become a better content creator and make sure that I'm talking about things that, you know, are interesting to creative people. So with my 50th video coming up, which I'm super excited about and kind of shocked by, 3 months went by really, really fast. Sometimes I feel like my days are slow because, as I mentioned in a previous video, I have a lot of insomnia. So when you're up at 4:30 in the morning, and you can't sleep till after 12:30, the days can seem long. They can. But at the same time, they're also going by so quickly. Like, the days feel long, right? Really long sometimes. But then also, at the same time, time goes by really fast. I've been in this house for 9 years and 4 months. And the basement's still under construction. There's still sometimes I can't record for a few days because they're like hammering and noise coming out of the basement because they're finally getting that done. That's finally happening. So time really does go by quickly. Almost 10 years in this house. So the fact that I've been doing this for 3 months shouldn't really surprise me. But it kind of does. I'm kind of shocked. I'm shocked. 50 videos in 3 months. I'm not going to do the exact math on what 50 videos in 90 days is, but we can do some basic math, right? That's more than one every 2 days, right? Because 45 in 90 days would be one every 2 days. So we'll look at one every 1 point something days, you know? So that is more than I ever planned on doing. I probably am not going to keep up with that pace, but I think I will discuss that with you in video number 50. We're going to celebrate. I don't know exactly what we're going to do in my milestone 3 months, 50 videos mark on YouTube. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but for me, it's going to be a celebration. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So you're invited to the party. Just saying. The YouTube party. Of course, the virtual party. So think about it. When you see that video, you better be in the mood to celebrate with me. Yeah, you better. Because my 50th video, my 3-month video, my 90-day video, it's gonna be a celebration. Yeah. So come in the mood. Come in the mood to be happy for me. Come in the mood to be excited, because I'm gonna be excited. Come in the mood to, you know, dance around the house if you want with me. I do dance around my house. I actually probably won't be doing that on the YouTube video, but you never know. You never know. But I do dance around my house. I used to do it a lot more. I don't do it quite as much anymore. I've lost track of my rounds again, by the way. Is this round 7 or round 8? Anybody counting? I could say watch your own video back and try to figure it out. But I can't see that well, if you want to know. I can't see that well to count my own rounds in my video. I'd like to say I could just watch it back and I could count and I could be like, okay, May, you got 7 rounds, you got 8 rounds, you got 9 rounds going on there. And then I'd know. But I can't see well enough to tell you. even watching my own videos, how many rounds we're at. So I might end up ripping out this little baby booty because I don't know if I can make the second one to match anymore. I've completely lost track of what I'm doing. But I guess that's my life. That happens to me. I don't usually worry as much. Like if I'm working on a skirt, or something, I don't worry as much if I lose track of my rounds. Because, it's a rough estimate. But if I maybe don't get an increased row, if I do an increased row every 4 rounds, and then all of a sudden I go 5 or 6, it's going to be okay, right? But when you're making something that you want 2 of, like a baby booty, you want a pair, right? You kind of want them to match. So, that's a stumper. And of course, I'll try to zoom it in and try to view it under like the 30 times magnification and see if I can maybe see visually and count the rows anymore. But even that's just super challenging for me. Anyway, I will try. I'll definitely try. I still try to see all the time, but it's getting harder all the time. So I don't know. I just don't know if I'll be able to tell and if I'll be able to make the second one to match. That's definitely a challenge for me. So who knows? Who knows if you'll ever actually see this finished? But it is almost finished now, right? I'm just going to stop after this round because it's a baby booty. So we don't want it super long. I'm enjoying this pattern though. I'll talk more about it with you. Maybe for Finish It Friday, we'll talk about this pattern more. We'll get into it. But the different styles of this one. And this particular one is going to have a rolled cuff. So you don't do any ribbing or anything like that. You just put like a little bow in it or something. Got some eyelets. We did an eyelet round. And we're going to put some little ribbon in it. How stinking cute is that, right? A little ribbon around there to secure it. So, yeah. Let me finish. I got one more needle. If you're visually impaired, I am working on 2 circular needles. And I am going to finish this round. And then I'll stop knitting. I don't want it to go on forever. I don't want to lose track and really not know what I'm doing. So if indeed I finish this and I don't rip it out, you will get to see it. You will, but maybe not. Like I said, the hat's still going around in my head. I'm like, that might be enough to make a baby hat. So, who knows? Who knows? But if indeed I make the second one and make them to match, I'll be sure to try to share them with you for a Finish It Friday video or something. So that's what's going on in my head right now. I'm sort of in shock and surprised by the amount of content I put out there and the amount of time that I've been on here already. And that's what I think the plan is for the next video. Okay, so let me turn the light on I know most of y'all can see probably. I might have some visually impaired viewers. I hope I do. But here it is. Here's the color. You can see it. Hopefully you can see it better. This is the skein. It's got like this little eyelet round in there. So we're going to put like a little piece of ribbon through there. I put a little bow tie. I can't decide if I should, excuse me, allergy season. I can't decide if I should just make some I-cord or if I should put some ribbon through there. It's a pretty small little eyelet. So I'll have to look and see what I have for ribbon that would match this pink too. I mean, I've got like a red ribbon, but I'm pretty sure I don't want to put red ribbon with this. I'm going to look to see what kind of white ribbon I have. But I might end up just making some I-cord and putting it through there as well. And then we'll have like a little ribbon that you can tie there, like some I-cord, and then a little rolled cuff. So that's what we're doing tonight. That's what I've been doing while we've been hanging out. And this is something that I don't always do this. It depends. But I wanted to share this with anybody who's visually impaired out there. I have multiple sets of needles for a variety of reasons. And one of them is that one of these needles is a wooden needle and one is a nickel needle. And so when I'm working on a sock, I'll often do that where I'll intentionally use two different styles of needles so that I can easily tell by feel, right, where I'm at. So when I'm on the wooden needle on this one, that's the first half. And then when I get to the nickel needle, I'm on my second needle. And I know that. Sometimes I will do like two wood needles of the same or two nickel needles, but then I'll use different lengths. Like these happen to be on the same lengths of cables. I love interchangeable needles, but I also appreciate the fixed needles as well. I use both, but these are both interchangeable circulars, and they're on the same length of cables because they're different materials, right? So I can easily feel which is which and what's going on there. But sometimes if I do use two nickel plated needles, then I'll just sometimes put them on a different length of cable, and I'll just know, okay, the shorter one's my front needle, the longer one's the back needle. So it just makes it really easy for me to track tactily with my hands what's going on. So anyways, I think for now, I'm going to go ahead and close. We're going to end this WIP Wednesday video. Now, if you don't know it yet, at the end of my videos, I do know that people like light, right? The majority of people like light. So we're going to turn on the overhead light so you can actually, I know you want to see the shawl probably and the little baby booty. So here we're going to pause the camera.
Pause.
Okay, so here is the little baby booty that we're working on. How cute is that, right? And here's a little eyelet round. We're going to put some ribbon through that. How cute and tiny. Oh my gosh. Here's the skein. Do you think I should actually make a second booty? Obviously, there's going to be plenty of yarn left. Should I just go for baby hat, rip it out and scrap it and just try to find a smaller scrap to do the baby booties? And then of course here is the shawl. I believe that these are a match. If you have sight, if you can see color, I'd love to know, are these the same? That's what my my Google AI thing is telling me, that these are probably the same, but my eyes cannot tell that for sure. So I don't actually know for sure if this is the same yarn in this project or not. It might not be. It's possible that it's not, but Google's telling me that they're both red, pink, magenta type colors, but I don't know for sure if they're a match. So here's the shawl also. And does anybody recognize this shawl? Do you know which pattern this is? Because I have searched the internet. I've searched my binders. Yes, I have pattern binders, even though I can't see much anymore. I still do try to look at the pictures. I still try to zoom in on them and magnify them like 30 times. So I still go through my pattern binders. I try to figure out what I'm looking at. So if anybody recognizes this shawl, let me know what it is. It's pretty small. It's like a little shawlette to go on your shoulders. It's not a big shawl, but still, it's fun. It's beautiful. I might want to make it again, and I certainly would love to be able to link it up. Give credit to the designer, right? That's important. I want to say for sure I did not design this. I'd love to be able to give credit to the designer and link it up for anybody else who might want to make it. So, as always, what I like to close with is that creativity is for everybody. Whether you see or you see like me, which is not so much and not in color, or you don't see at all, creativity is for you. And whether it's knitting or crocheting or sewing or quilting or beading or sculpting or painting or whatever it is that you do, today is a great day to craft and create. Thanks so much for listening. See you soon for the 50th video 90-day celebration. Come ready to party. Bring whatever beverage you'd like. All right, bye-bye for now.